Can humans fly? The answer is not all that obvious. On a physiological level, we can't fly. But we can fly if we have the right transportation, like a plane. We also can't swim very far, but we can cross the Atlantic if we have a boat. Similarly, some animals that can't fly can fly, and some animals that can't swim very far can cross oceans if they have the right transportation. Chameleons, for example. Today, we find chameleons in Madagascar and in Central Africa, but some species have dispersed to regions as far away as India, and they have colonized distant islands in the Indian Ocean. But how is this possible? Well, it's all a matter of transportation. Researchers assume that chameleons and many other animals move around on floating islands, trees, or vegetation that were transformed into a raft by a hurricane. And if a chameleon was sitting on such a tree, well, it just needs to hold on tight and enjoy the journey. Or rather, two chameleons. After all, they do need to reproduce once they arrive at their destination if they want to colonize it. So in the end, it's not all a matter of transportation. Now, you might tell me that the probability of something like this happening is very low. Not just one, but several chameleons sitting on a tree that is transformed into a raft by a hurricane, the chameleons surviving the journey and reproducing as well once they arrive. And you're right, the probability of something like this happening is incredibly low. But on an evolutionary timescale, these improbable events do happen, and they have shaped our world and the ecosystems as we know them today. And what is even more astonishing, these events don't happen completely randomly either. Some species have certain characteristics that increase their dispersal success, like salt water, tolerance, for example, or being able to fly. Our world is now rapidly changing. Species are moved around the world more than they were ever before due to us humans. And at the same time, species are moving to colder regions on their own because the climate is changing. But how high is the probability of a species actually getting to a new location and establishing a population there? And what are the differences in probabilities between species? Well, the answers to these questions may lie in the past. And this is why I'm looking at species characteristics, the role of species characteristics in species movements on an evolutionary timescale in my thesis. It is important for us to understand the differences in dispersal abilities between species. On one hand, to estimate how very successful movers may affect ecosystems around the world, but also to know which species may need a helping hand to survive climate change. Thank you.